Good morning, beloveds. Okay, so yeah, if you're having trouble with Facebook, delete the app and reinstall the app. It works. I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner, but hindsight 2020. All right, we are done with the prodigal son. We finished up with the prodigal son yesterday. We are on to something else in Luke. We're going to do Luke for a minute, I guess. So we are in the Science Mind Text, part 5, from the teaching of Jesus. We are in 471, starting with the new birth from John 3 through 9. Except a person be born again, they cannot see the kingdom of God. Jesus is referring to the heavenly birth, which means being born into the knowledge of truth. He refers to this as being born of water and spirit. The symbol of water is used to express the idea of a complete immersion in spirit. As water flows in and around, so we are immersed in an everlasting spirit which flows in and around and through us. To be immersed in water symbolizes our recognition that we are surrounded by pure spirit. It is the outward sign of an inner conviction. But water alone cannot make us completely clean or whole. We must be born of the Spirit, for that which is born of spirit is spirit. That's in quotes, by the way. A person partakes of the divine nature, and the divine nature is the person. The recognition of this is being born of the Spirit, but we cannot be born of the Spirit unless we do the will of Spirit, and the will of the Spirit is goodness, peace, mercy, justice, and truth. It is conscious union with God. The new birth comes not by observation, nor by loud proclamation, but through an inner sense of reality. We cannot tell where this comes from if we look to the outward things, as it proceeds from the innermost part of our own being. All right, I have two thoughts about this. One, that pure spirit thing, it's like a fish being in water. You can tell a fish that the fish is in water, and the fish is like, what are you talking about? Because the fish is surrounded by the water, lives in the water, does everything in the water, is unaware of the water, kind of like we are with air. That's kind of a metaphor that kind of explains this, the spirit. It's all around us all the time. It runs through us. It is us, and we are blissfully unaware of it because that's all there is. It's what we live in. And then that last line, he says, this new birth comes not by observation nor by loud proclamation, but through an inner sense of reality. I would argue that it also has to do with, because what he said is, if we have to do the will of Spirit, which is goodness, peace, mercy, justice, and truth, you will know them by their acts. If somebody's been born of Spirit, you will know them by what they do. You'll see the outward signs of that inner reality. So, all right. So we're going to move on to, let's see. Ooh, that one's a long one. Okay. We're going to do 3 more because the next one, this one's short. This says heaven. This is John 3:13. And no person hath ascended up to the heaven, but they that come down from heaven, even the child of humanity, which is in heaven. Here is another of those hidden meanings which places Jesus among the great mystics. He says that no person can go to heaven unless they came from heaven, and that he can neither go to, nor come from heaven unless he is already there, which is pretty self-explanatory. This is in line with the idea that the truth knows neither yesterday nor today nor tomorrow. It knows sequence but not time. Only that can return to heaven which was born in heaven. And since heaven is not a place, but a state of consciousness, the return must be a recognition that heaven is already within. Okay, the child of humanity, who is also the child of God, is already in heaven and knows it not. So, in other words, the heaven that we seek, we carry within us. You want to find heaven? Turn within. Communicate with the divine source of your being. All right, now this next one is like 3 pages. So this is the one we're going to do and be done with. So it's titled The Son of Man. I suspect we're going to be talking about God. Now, what I'm going to, or not God, Jesus. So, but when I see the Son of Man, what I like to say is the child of humanity. Okay? So this is John 3:14. Oh, this is the one that everybody's always, John 3:14. This should be interesting. I always see signs of, the billboards. John 3:14. Oh, great. So now I, 1, bumped the camera, and 2, lost my place in my book. Hang on. Fortunately, I know about where I was. Yep, here we go. I told you at the beginning I was on 471, and I'm on 472 now. So, yay. Okay. All right. So, John 3:14. As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so Jesus tells us, must the child of humanity also be lifted up. By looking on and believing in this child, we are saved. Jesus could not have been referring to his own personality, for he knew that this would soon be taken from the sight of humanity. We must look for a deeper meaning. We must be lifted up. We must realize our divine nature and relationship to the truth of God. This relationship is one of complete unity. The cross represents the tree of life and may also be thought of as the tree of unity. When Moses lifted up the serpent, those who looked upon it were healed. Their understanding produced a consciousness of unity, which had healing power. The life principle is either looked upon as material or spiritual. When looked upon as material, it casts us from the Garden of Eden, the garden of the soul. The life principle viewed only as matter is death, but viewed as life and unity, it becomes life everlasting. Moses elevated the life principle, and Jesus did the same. The child of humanity must be lifted up, even as Moses lifted up the life principles symbolized by the serpent. I have no idea what he's talking about with Moses and a serpent. I'm going to have to go look that up. Okay, we are reminded here of another symbol, one used in the the Hebrew Bible, that of the serpent, which cast Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden. The serpent meant the outer rim of spiritual existence, the life principle viewed from an isolated and materialistic basis. The worship of material existence, apart from God, cast Adam and Eve from the garden of perfection. The attempt to live in effect, apart from true cause, always does this. The story of the fall, taken literally, would be ridiculous to the point of absurdity. Hence, it is necessary to look for a deeper meaning. The writer was trying to teach a cosmic lesson, the lesson of right and wrong. The Garden of Eden typifies life in its pure essence. Adam means humanity in general, generic people, generic person. Humanity exists in pure life and has all of its agencies at its command. This is the meaning of their being told to till the soil and enjoy the fruits of their labor. I don't know where he's going with this. I'm going to keep going. The tree of life is our real being, And the tree of knowledge of good and evil means the possibility of dual choice. That is, we can choose even that which is not for our best good. Humanity is warned not to eat of the fruit of this tree, for it is destructive. Eve, the woman, in the case, was made from the rib of Adam. This story suggests the dual nature of humanity as a psychological being. The woman made from the man. She must have been in him, else she could not have been made out of him, and the story clearly states that she was taken from his being. Adam and Eve are potential in all of us. The serpent represents the life principle, viewed from a material basis, which beguiles us in this way. He says that evil is as real as good, that the devil has equal power with God, that negation equals positive goodness, and that the universe is dual in its nature. From the acceptance of this argument, we experience both good and evil. And should we come full-orbed into individuality without having learned the lesson of unity, we should live forever in a state of bondage. This is the meaning of God saying, "They shall become as one of us and live forever." The eternal mind does not wish us to live forever in bondage, and this is what would happen unless we first learn the lesson of right and wrong. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So that part of us which can be fooled eats the fruit of dual experience, and in so doing reveals its own nakedness. The naive state of humanity is one of purity, peace, and perfection, and it is only when we compare these with impurity, distress, and imperfection that we are revealed as naked. Emerson tells us that the virtue does not know it is virtuous. I've heard that line before. And then I thought about it. You know what? Yeah. Virtue does not know it's virtuous. Anybody who tells you that they're virtuous needs to go back and look at their virtue. Okay. It is only when virtue tastes of impurities that it becomes naked and must hide from itself. It's like a lion doesn't have to tell you it's a lion. A virtuous person doesn't have to tell you they're virtuous. The voice of God, walking in the garden in the cool of the day, means the introspective and meditative part of us, which in its moments of pure intuition and reason, see the illusion of a life apart from God or good. Error is ever a coward before truth and cannot hide itself from reality, which sees through everything, encompasses all, and penetrates even the prison walls of the mind with its clear, I don't even know what that word is. Effulgence. Yeah, I don't even know what that word is. I'm gonna have to. I love learning new words, so that's cool. Okay, we got three paragraphs left. I still don't know what he's talking about. I mean, I know what he's talking about, but this is hardball metaphysics. This is heavy duty stuff. Okay, Jesse does this much better than I do, and he talked about it the last 2 Sundays. He talked about Genesis, so go back and listen to Jesse's idea about this, because I'm not gonna have a whole lot to say. This is way beyond my biblical, knowledge. Okay. So the conversation between God and Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden represents the arguments that go on in our own minds when we try and realize the truth. These arguments are familiar to all. The expulsion from the garden is a necessary and logical outcome of tasting of dual experience. If we believe in both good and evil, we must experience both. But lest we should become discouraged, we remember that Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, and those who looked upon it were healed. The serpent means the life principle viewed from a material basis alone. It casts us from a perfect state. Lifted up, that is viewed from a true meaning of unity of God, it heals. Here is the choice again, only stated in different words. The difference is not in the thing itself, but in the way we look at it. That's a really important line. Shakespeare said, the thing is neither good nor evil, it's thinking that makes it so. Okay, last paragraph. The child of humanity is every person who ever lived or will ever live. Our life is from spirit, not from matter. This viewpoint is the truth, and truth alone makes free. We come into everlasting life as we elevate this inner principle to a sense of unity of humanity with God. Each must lift themselves to the cross of the tree of life, thus unifying themselves with reality. The concept is glorious and the reward certain. The revelation of the self to the self. This is the great lesson of lessons. Okay, I just read that whole thing and I get it, but I don't think that I can summarize it. I don't think I can do a good job of summarizing. The best that I can say is he keeps calling the serpent the life principle. Basically, when we buy into the fact that evil is a power in and of itself, that it is equal to God or good, then we're gonna suffer because we have accepted that it is a power in and of itself. What Jesus is teaching is that it is not a power in and of itself. It can't be, because that would be a house divided against itself and it would collapse. It's not that there is not evil. It is simply that evil is a misuse of the power that we have. When we commit ourselves to looking at it from a spiritual point of view, then we come back into the unity. We recognize that evil isn't a power in and of itself, and that we do not have to suffer from it. As he said earlier in there, we have a tendency to live in the effect rather than going back to the cause, because the cause is God. So we want to go back to the cause and stop living in the effects. That is my very poor job of summarizing what we just read. Okay. Oh my God. Like I said, Jesse does a much better job of that, and he covered it in the last 2 Sundays. Here, it's August of 2024. So if you're watching this at some other time, go to the Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel. Look for August of 2024, and watch those, because he touches on that Genesis. We will, however, start tomorrow with When We Are Strong from John 5:19 on page 475. I am going to go to work because I just realized that today is Wellness Wednesday and I forgot to do the coupon. So engage with us on the social media. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. Please go like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, do all the things. It helps us. You want more information about the center? The website is creativelife.org and the email is info@creativelife.org. .org. Okay. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. Take care of business day. Go finish up the task you forgot day. A little bit every day will get you to the goal day. A wonderful Wednesday. A wellness Wednesday. Oh my God, I've got a lot to do and I need to wrap this up day. You got this day. a good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right, beloveds, take care of yourself. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.